Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about all different kinds of surfaces, how and when and why you want to wax them, how, when, and why you want to seal them. So I'm going to go over all of it. It's going to be lots of great information. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have an array of surfaces here. Let me go ahead and move some of these out of the way so that we can get started on talking about each one and why you should wax it or seal it, when and how, okay? So let's get started at the bottom and then work our way up. Okay. First thing I'm going to talk about is our Aiden board and all the boards that are similar to this. These are our high-end boards. They have a stainless steel chalkboard that has been powder coated, and it's magnetic. Now these are excellent. You do not need to do anything to this. You do not need to wax it, and it is meant for you to use multiple times. So you chalk on it, you love your decor for a while, then you decide you want to change it up, you wipe it off, and you start again. It is ready to go. So that one, there is no waxing. Now, if you make a design and you love it and you don't want to reuse the board, then you can seal it. But that's completely up to you. But it's meant for multiple uses. So this is an excellent one. You really don't need to do anything to it. It is ready to go for you. All right, let me move that out of the way. And they come in many different sizes, so you can have your pick. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is our board and base. This is super economical. I love this board, and it is double-sided, so you can chalk on both sides, and you can place it somewhere where both sides can be seen. This is meant for multiple uses, meaning that you chalk on it, you wipe it off, clean it with water, and then you dry it, and then you're ready to chalk on it again to switch up your decor. You do not need to wax this. This is good to go as is. Again, if you chalk something and let's say you want to give it as a gift and you want to make sure the chalk does not come off, then you can seal it. That is your choice if you want to make it permanent. But this is what we consider a multiple use board. So you chalk, clean it off, chalk on it again. So there's that one. All right, now let's go to the next one. We have some of these, and these again are multiple use. They are meant for you to chalk, wipe off, chalk again, switch up your decor. So it is up to you. If you want to seal it and make it permanent, then you can do that. But there is no waxing needed for this board. Okay. Put that down. And this is our board and base. Our board and base, again, does not need to be waxed. It is meant to, for you to be able to use it this way, for you to be able to use it this way, so you can switch up the transfers in whatever direction you want them to face, and you just wipe it off with water. You can use our board eraser as well, and you're good to go. It's meant for multiple uses, no waxing required whatsoever. So these are the ones that are Chalk Couture. So they are specifically made for you to be able to switch up your decor, and you do not need to wax. Okay. Here is another example. This one as well. It is a multiple use board, meaning you can use it over and over and over again. You chalk on it, you clean it off with water, and then you chalk on it again. So these are high quality boards that are meant to last you a really long time and to be used over and over again to switch up your decor. Okay, they are a great price. They're also a great investment because, like I said, they're built for you to be able to reuse. So Now let's talk about some of our wooden surfaces. Now wood is porous, okay? So here I have some examples of, this is not a Chalk Couture board. This one is, okay? Here we have another example of a wood board. This one, as you can see, I have waxed, okay? I highly recommend waxing all of your boards that are made out of wood because wood is porous and it naturally just absorbs whatever's put on top of it. And if you notice the grain of the wood, depending on how it's going, whether up and down, side to side, it could wick. So let's say I don't treat this and I put chalk on it, then it might kind of bleed into the different pores of the wood because there's no barrier to hold the chalk in place, the chalk paste. So I highly recommend doing at least a couple of layers of wax on all wooden surfaces, okay? And that includes our Chalk Couture boards. Now these Chalk Couture boards, they come in different sizes. These are our box frames, and they're meant for a one-time use. So that's different from our other boards because, again, wood, as I said, is porous. Whatever you chalk is going to, get put onto the board. Now you can wipe it off because, chalk paste does come off with water, but it's going to leave a stain that you're not going to be able to get out because the wood is going to absorb the chalk. Okay, here's an example of that. This is a piece of wood that I painted, and I even put some of this gold on top of it, and then I chalked on it. Well, let me show you. As you can see, what I tried to remove this with water. I tried to remove it with a disinfectant wipe, and I even used our board eraser on it. But as you can see, you can still see the transfer I used because, again, even though I painted it, wood is porous and it's going to absorb. So like this, I need to repaint it so that I can have a nice fresh canvas again, okay? And that's just the nature of wood. So that I do definitely, as I said, definitely wax it at least a couple of times. And if you want to make it multi-use, meaning you can wipe it off easily and then reuse it again, you can do that even with our boards. All you have to do is seal it. So I have some examples of sealers that I use. And again, these are things that I have found out through my using Chalk Couture, what works, what needs to be waxed, what needs to be sealed, why I want to seal it. So I'm just passing on my tips, my tricks, and my suggestions to you, of course, depending on what it is that you want to do with your surface. So like I said, these are meant as a one-time use. Now, it doesn't have to stay a one-time use. These two boards, I went ahead and I sealed. I used a matte sealer, so you cannot even tell that I have treated them. Now, I did not wax them because I knew I was going to seal them. And if you're going to seal them, you really don't need to wax. So I want to show you, these two have been sealed with a matte sealer. This one has not. So I want you to take a look, is that they're very similar. I mean, you can't really tell, side by side, which one has been sealed and which one hasn't just by eyesight. So it's not going to change the look of your box frame if you use a matte sealer. If you use a gloss sealer or a high gloss sealer, then yes, it's going to come out looking very shiny and you will definitely be able to tell a difference. But like I said, I used a matte one. So you have choices, you have options. It's up to you, okay? Here's our palette board. Again, this is a one-time use board, But I just showed you that all you have to do is seal it first, and then you're going to be able to make it a multi-use board. So this is the things I love about Chalk Couture, is that we have high quality products, and even the ones that are meant as a one-time use, by sealing it, you can make it multi-use and use it over and over again in your decor. Switch it up as many times as you want. This one I have not sealed. Now, I do recommend waxing. Anything that is wood, even from Chalk Couture, I recommend you wax. If it's going to be a one-time use, wax it and then do your chalking on it. Again, you have options. Seal it first. If you're going to seal it, you don't need to bother waxing, because the sealant is going to create a barrier between your chalk paste and the wood. So you don't need to wax it. And like I said, unless it's going to be a one-time use, then you definitely want to wax it first. So there, like I said, this is I love that one. And then this one has not been sealed, and these two have. So for me, I like to reuse my surfaces. I like to switch up my decor. So I definitely, when I get something like this, I seal it first. That's what I do. Also, if you're going to give something as a gift, so for example, I've already sealed this, and let's say I chalk on it. If it's something I'm going to give as a gift, I want to seal it once again, because you want to protect the chalk from, if it accidentally gets any moisture on it, or anything liquid gets spilled on it, you want to make sure that the chalk is not going to move, because our chalk is water soluble, and that is, something that's built into it, so that you are able to remove it easily and then re-chalk something different when you want to change your decor. So if you want to give something as a gift, I do recommend sealing the chalk paste, whatever your design is, onto the surface, okay? And let's talk about some chalkboards now. We talked about wood. Now let's talk about some chalkboards. Chalkboards like this that are inexpensive, I definitely seal. You do not need to wax it, but I will definitely seal it. One, especially if they have like glitter, it helps lock in the glitter. And two, I really don't know if they used a chalk paste, if they used a chalk, like a chalk paint, or what it is that they, use to give it the chalkboard look. So you definitely want to seal that. Even these, like for example, this is from the ones that you get from the Dollar Tree. I love using these in my Dollar Tree home decor tutorials. And, if you check out my channel, you'll see that I have used these several times. Again, these I wax and then I use. Now, if you wanted to reuse it over again, I would seal it first. Let me tell you why. Can you see that? Let me try. I hope you can see that. That is called ghosting, okay? Now, our board erasers are great at removing ghosting from any of the Chalk Couture products. You will not have this kind of issue. This is a Dollar Tree board. Again, the quality of it, you get what you pay for. It cost me $1, and so that's the quality of it. So even though I cleaned it with water, I used a disinfecting wipe, I even used our board eraser, that ghosting is not going to go away. I mean, it's just what it is. So if it's something like this that you want to reuse, then I would definitely seal it first. Okay, so you can use, Chalk Couture offers a variety of surfaces in different aesthetic looks, and they're beautiful and they're high quality, and I highly suggest buying them and using them. But that doesn't mean you can't use other things. Like I said, I love, if I find something that I think is cute and I want to use, I go ahead and I buy it so that I can chalk on it. You just have to know how to prepare it. So something like this, like I said, I love using these for home decor ideas, but learn from my mistakes. I waxed it, but still, because of the quality of the material, still wasn't enough to keep it from ghosting. It does not bother me because I paid $1 for it. So, and I still have this side that I can use. So it's still a good buy, and it's still a great board to use. You just have to know how to prepare it. So like I said, definitely from, you know, after this happened, I definitely now seal my chalkboards. And normally that's a rule of thumb. If you buy a chalkboard from anywhere else, I highly recommend that if you want to be able to reuse it and not have permanent ghosting like that, definitely seal it first. And I recommend light coats of sealant. You might want to give 2 or 3, totally depending on you. But do light coats, let it dry completely. Do a second coat, let it dry completely. And if you want to you could even do a third coat. Okay, so now that we've talked about the different surfaces and why you want to wax them, why you want to seal them, in what situations, now let's talk about the actual wax and the actual sealers that I use. Now, this is not sponsored. This is just what I have purchased and what I have liked. So you may use any brand you want. This is just what I use. Now, I do want to talk about the board erasers. You get 2 per package. They're really economical. I highly suggest these as well. And any of the Chalk Couture products that I've mentioned, you can purchase those through my online store. And all the information is in the description box. So please check that out. I truly, truly appreciate your support. Now let's talk about waxes. Here is the wax that Chalk Couture offers. It is a great quality wax. And if you are going to wax just a few items, then this is all you need. Pick up 1 or 2 of these and you're good to go. Okay. And that works great. Like I said, if you just have a few items. If you purchase a ton of stuff that you're going to wax and you're like, you don't want to buy 50 of these, which you can, like I said, they're a good price, but then you may want to invest in this kind of wax. If you notice, it's a much larger container. So if you have a lot of surfaces that you're going to wax, then I recommend something like this. It's by Minwax. It's a paste finishing wax. This is what I use, and I love it. The color, it's natural, so it does have a tint to it, and it makes your wood a little brighter. It deepens the color a tiny bit, but nothing that is not, you know, that is very, very obvious. So this is the one that I use. Like I said, I'm sure there's other brands. I don't know. This is the one I found, and I like the way it works. So when I'm doing a lot of surfaces that I'm waxing, I do it all at one time. I do recommend that you follow the directions, and always please use protective gloves when you're applying it. I also recommend using like a microfiber cloth to apply it instead of like a paper towel, because then you can leave little pieces of the paper towel on your wood surface. Because again, like I said, it's wood, it's porous, it's not, you know, super smooth. It's going to have even little tiny roughness to it. So when you're using a paper towel, it kind of just tears up your paper towel. So I like using a microfiber cloth that I get from the dollar store. And that way, once it's all used up, I just throw it away. I get my gloves at the dollar store too. I love them. They're perfect because I can use them and then throw them away. But definitely you want to follow the directions, you know, well-ventilated area, that kind of stuff. It's all on here. I definitely wear gloves to protect yourself. Okay, now that's wax. Now let's talk about sealants. Like I said, this is not sponsored. These are just the ones that I like to use. So I like the Krylon brand. If you notice, it says matte. This is the one that I used on my boards where you can't even tell that they've been sealed. They pretty much look identical to the one that's not sealed. So this one actually has 2 coats of this matte finish. So it will not change the look, or at least it didn't for me. Like I said, I'm just sharing my experiences with you with the products. So this is the matte version. They also have a gloss version. So if you want a little bit of shine, this will give you that. I use the gloss version on my chalkboards. The ones that are non-Chalk Couture, you know, that are that I have found in other places, like the Dollar Tree, I'll use this. Because for me, chalkboards having a little shine, I like the way it looks. If you want a lot of shine, they also make this one. This one is the triple thick clear glaze. So this one is glossy and it's really, really shiny. So I've actually used this one as well. It just depends on what I'm creating, what is the look that I want for it. Depends on which one I use. So you have options again: matte, glossy, super glossy. So these are the three that I use. And that is sealants. And again, we talked about when you want to use a sealant. You use it, I definitely use it on anything that is porous, like wood, or on any kind of chalkboard that is not Chalk Couture that I want to make sure to be able to reuse. I definitely use the sealant. Or if you've created something and you love it and you want it, you know, to stay perfect forever and ever, either for yourself or because you're giving it as a gift, then I seal the chalk, you know, my masterpiece that I made with a sealant again. I hope you have found this helpful. If there is a question that I didn't answer, please feel free to put it in the comments below, and I will happily, if I can, answer any of your questions. Once again, if you need any of the items that are Chalk Couture that I have mentioned, please feel free to shop my online store. The link is in the description box. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Have a great day or night, wherever you're at.